Charlotte to this opportunity? Kind of take us through the steps of getting a chance to play here.
Yeah, it's been crazy, especially when I stepped in foot in the facility on media day. It was hundreds of people in here. It's like probably like 20 people in media day in Charlotte. So it's definitely a blessing to be here and learn from the best.
This was a place you worked out, I believe, right?
Yes, sir, my pre-draft.
And stuff like that. What was it then that was exciting about being a Laker, and what did it feel like kind of to have your journey kind of take you this way?
Well, I was just trying to, get my foot in the door, when I came here, trying to do a pre-draft workout, and I think I did pretty well. And just for me to end up here now is kind of crazy. Like I said, just thankful for the opportunity just to get better and learn from the best.
Nick Davick, been with ESPN. Good to see you.
Yes, sir.
What do you think you can take from the stuff that you showed in Charlotte that brings you confidence coming into this job, and then what do you say is like the next step in your development?
Yeah, well, I say my next step in my development is just keeping the game easy, keeping it simple, not really doing too much. And I say just my shooting ability, just to be able to, I feel like I can go anywhere and help a team, put the ball in the basket and stuff like that. And also just being need to be a better defender as well.
Anything else? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Taylor Jayes. I'm with the Lakers. Just wondering, on your first day of training camp, who you kind of like stuck by or learned from, since you got here. So
what did I learn when I got here?
Just who'd you like kind of hang close to today with the Lakers on your first day of training camp?
I say it was like a team. It's a team effort. I say Gabe because I got a lot of questions because I'm trying to figure out the system and stuff like that, what JJ want and what JJ need and what the team needs. So just asking him a lot of questions. He been very helpful for sure.
Can you explain like this journey for you? I mean, being one of the top high school prospects, getting into this position now, and also battling adversity because you did that in college too as well with the injury. But
yeah.
How has this been for you, and being in another step where you're like, I've already been here before with adversity, and having so many people believe in you too as well?
Yeah.
Amongst this journey.
It's a blessing, man. I got a great support system at home. They pulling for me at home, and I just try to come in here and grind wherever I'm at. Just try to grind and grind it out, and just learn each and every day. I'm still young. I still got ways to go in this league, and I know that. So really just take as much information I can every day from JJ and from the players, because the players has been there before at the highest stage. So just excited just to get it rolling.
And then what is the response from the homies too? Like you being on the I know it's crazy too. Especially.
Yeah, they got a lot of questions and a lot of comments and stuff like that. I try not to get too much in it, just to stay locked in and stuff like that. So it's pretty crazy back at home. So my phone been blowing up.
What was the timing like of this move for you? It happened so late in the offseason to be released from Charlotte and find this. Does it make you feel like you're kind of trying to catch up to the process?
Yeah, just not really catch up to the process because that's just the NBA. Sometimes things not gonna work out where you're at, and I understand that. Of course, I'm just trying to catch up, just trying to because guys been here in the summertime, so. I'm asking as many questions as I can just to, get it rolling. But as far as like my game, I'm always stay ready.
Nick, you mentioned the defense. Were you specifically like thinking point of attack, weak side, off the ball? What are the things that you want to focus on?
Everything. On the ball, off the ball, even switch five when we switching, guarding bigger defenders. I got to get stronger, get bigger. So we could be able to do that in a game. Learning weak side tag, pretty much everything.
Nick, is this something where you were, and I apologize, it's confusing. I tend to do that every once in a while.
No, you good.
I'd hold off on that. You're a guy who's been able to score the ball, right? You did it in high school, gifted offensive player. And in Charlotte, there was kind of like, let's see who's going to be our scorers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How do you take those skills and apply them to a situation where there are guys here who score the basketball? Like what parts of your game do you think fit? Where the other parts of your game do you think that you have to kind of uncover?
Yeah. We got some of the best players to ever play the game here. So, obviously I'm not going to come in here trying to, whoop-de-doo and do everything and stuff like that. So, it's definitely going to be very quick decisions, quick decision making. And I understand that, and it's either you shoot it or get off of it, to be honest with you, especially when you're a young player trying to learn and stuff like that. So, I still know my game. I still know what I'm capable of. So, like I said, I got a lot of ways to go in this league.
Nick Brad Turner from LA Times was there anyone that you looked at in the NBA that you try to pattern your game after, or you try to look at and say, this is someone that I can perhaps be like?
My favorite players are Kobe Bryant, Kyrie Irving, and Bradley Beal. So, yeah, I've been watching those guys. So,
it's not a bad name to have.
Yeah, not a bad name at all.
No. Nick, Edwin Garcia, Silver Screen and Roll. You already mentioned a little bit about the journey and kind of quickly getting here. What was that process like? We just heard, obviously the other day that you run the team. For a person who's kind of going through that journey, how quick did you have to kind of adjust and realize, okay, I'm coming to Lakers training camp. I got to be ready. Let me get this going.
It's definitely a quick adjustment. I think I came here, Monday. I got in Monday, and training camp is today. So quick adjustment, but, I got to be ready. So no excuses.
You did pre-draft here. You've been around, with Clutch. So, having Bron here, I know you've been around Bron, Bronny, a lot of guys, that have been around Clutch. How has that helped you? And then you also being here for several summers. And how is that relationship with you and Bron and having him as a mentor now and being your teammate? Is that crazy for you too?
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. I think so. But, what Brian do, it speaks for itself, just having to me, the greatest player to ever play the game is truly a blessing, just to get to pick his brain, whether if he's like coming to talk to me or not, just looking at him and looking at Luka and stuff like that, which is, I think the team, everybody does that as well. Just pick up anything you can from him just to learn from him.
Thank you guys.
Thank y'all.
Somebody? Come on. Back-to-back days for you. Congratulations.
So excited. What'd you think today?
It was fun. We had a good time. Competed. Got after it. Like I said, it's fun.
LeBron, JJ told us LeBron is, the plan with him is to be a little more conservative, to take a longer ramp up. What are the ways you think that him and Luka can still forge kind of chemistry if he's not out there, in live reps all the time?
Yeah, just communication. Have, good dialogue back and forth, what everybody likes, what, we think we can do to be successful. With him being one of the highest IQ guys to ever play the game, I think it's not that hard to, piece it in, even if he's not out there right now. He sees the game just as good as anybody that's ever played the game. So, like I said, just having conversation, dialogue back and forth, what we feel like we could do to, help our team be successful is going to be, I think, key.
How did he kind of participate without being on the court today?
How did he?
Yeah.
It's Brian. He's always going to, observe, kind of how he does it and then communication. I think that's the approach that, he's going to take right now is just, being one of our vocal leaders. That's what he's done his whole career. That's what he's done his last, 5 years that I've been with him. So I don't expect anything else.
JJ mentioned that there's next week there's a fun exercise he has planned for you guys, a non-physical fun exercise in terms of, maybe team building. He said a few guys know about it. Did he tell you, or do you know what he's talking about?
Hopefully it's golf. I don't know. He ain't told me.
Yeah, told you.
Maybe pickleball. He probably picked pickleball or something like that, but he's scared to. I've never beat him in a money game of golf, so I don't know why he wouldn't pick golf. So.
Are you good at pickleball?
I've played once. I don't know. I decent hand-eye coordination. I played more tennis, so he don't want to play me in tennis.
How did DeAndre look specifically pick and roll with you and Luka?
Good. Obviously, these are, very new reps. I was able to play a couple pickup sessions with him a couple weeks ago. So we've had a couple more times. It's the first time I've seen him and Luka play, but, Luka passes the ball so well that, he needs to expect open lobs, open, floaters, things around the paint, but it looked good. But we're going to have to continue to build that and kind of, have that, learning curve of, knowing what and when we want to do stuff. So it was fun.
Also, now that you are a seasoned veteran.
I don't know about all that.
Okay, now that you're a veteran, how does ramp up change for you coming into this season, getting ready for the regular season?
Same? Yeah, I think it's the same for me. I've been in here, basically the last month and a half. I've been absent a little bit. My brother had a baby.
An uncle, huh?
Yeah, I'm an uncle now. Yeah, so it was fun. I think it was, what was last month, September? Yeah, September 28th. So it's good. Congratulations to them. Very excited for that. Went home for that. But just been here, working out, playing pickup, having fun, just being around the guys.
Austin, did any of the new players kind of stand out? I know a lot of you talked yesterday about being happy that Marcus Smart's now on your side and on the opposing side.
Yeah, I mean, very excited to have him on our team. He's obviously, his resume speaks for itself, what he's done in this league. It's much better to have him on your team than against him. Competing against him sucks sometimes, but hopefully, he, does that to other players on opposing teams. So it's very, very fun to have him, Jake, DA. It's good. We got, a lot of good pieces.
JJ's mentioned an emphasis on hit-ahead passes. If you don't get it, gets a primary ball handler, get into the offensive action. 18, 19 seconds on the clock. Did you feel that play out when you guys were able to play live in 3-on-3s, 5-on-5s, and if so, how do you think it went?
Yeah, I thought it went good. There was a couple opportunities where the pitch ahead was open and we got something quick. One time I think I threw it ahead to Rui got an one. So just trying to take advantage of those situations to where you can get early offense, easy offense. So thought it went well.
Also, how do you feel like your voice has changed being a leader on this team? Because I know we talk about Bron and Luka, but I know you have an active voice on this roster. And how has that changed from your first practice all the way up until now?
I don't think I said one word my first practice. I was very quiet that whole year, and then the second year I came out of my shell and talked more. Just being able to communicate with the guys what I see, trying to be an extension to the coaching staff. We all got one goal, and that goal is to win. And any way I can help that come true is what I'll do. Perfect. Appreciate y'all.
Uncle Austin. This is August 20th.
And like with the Athletic, what was your first practice like as a Laker? Obviously got some pretty good work in.
Yeah, a lot of attention to detail. We competing. A lot of guys came in to camp into shape, so everything really was going smoothly. I think the coaches like it, JJ liked the practice a lot, and I was just competing and being vocal from day one. So I like it. It's pretty legit, and everybody got a purpose.
You and Luka entered the league at the same time. Spent draft night together at the hotel before you guys made it to the arena. What was it like finally practicing with him as a teammate?
I don't know, like something we spoke about or we thought about. You think what I'm thinking, and it finally came to life almost in a way. Coming up as draft prospects and finally here in 8 years in. It's our 8th year together. So I mean it's actually pretty cool to be this young in our age and finally link up and to work together and just be a vocal point of the team.
What do you need from the coaching staff and the teammates during the preseason to be as prepared as possible for opening night?
What do I need?
Yeah, or what are the things that will help you be as prepared as possible for opening night?
I don't know. They already gave me open arms and the city already welcomed me. I don't even know what I need. I already got everything I need. I just made sure my endurance is ready to play and compete and ready to do whatever I'm told, basically. Whatever the team needs, I'm here.
DeAndre, Brad Tatum from LA Times. How do you normally use preseason practices and games to ramp up for the regular season?
I mean, that's how you get the rust off. That's where you let the reps be moved out. Anything you need to shape up or polish up a little bit, this is where you get in the lab and you get it out your system. Watch film and get closer with your teammates and work on your conditioning. Just being available and knowing the task ahead and what the coaches want for the season.
Edwin Garcia, silver screen and roll. I see the shirt obsession. JJ just mentioned that's going to be kind of a theme this season. What does that word mean to you in a basketball context?
Obsession about your craft. I'm obsessed about my craft being better and just bringing the best contribution to the team. Holding my end of the bargain. Putting work in where there's no questions asked. Really, walking in the building and just setting the tone, being a great teammate. Just being coachable.
DeAndre, Uncle B Price, OC registered. JJ's mentioned wanting to get to offense earlier. He said that you guys were able to do that. the 3-on-3 and 5-on-5 action. Just how does that fit?
You said what?
The getting into their offense early. You said that was also emphasized in the 3-on-3 and 5-on-5 you guys did today. Just how does that fit into how you want to play, and how do you think that could benefit this quicker offense, early offense?
Oh yeah, the floor is open, man. I see where he has the 5-out spacing, and Luka's the guy who sees the floor, and everybody's our shooters in the corners, and me and him working at pick and roll, and I'm seeing where where my rolls to the rim, and where Luka can put pressure on the rim as well on that big when we're in the 2-man game. So I like it a lot. There's a lot of spacing. We got great shooters around us. And we also got another playmaker like Austin Reaves, who's super crafty. So it's fun.
I want to ask you about, first you playing, on the Bahamian national team, just, how it is for the Bahamas, you being on the big stage again, like you have been in the past, but also being able to show people, that you can come from that area and then still be able to succeed and be able to play for the Lakers. What it means for you playing for the Lakers, being from the Bahamas too as well.
Well, yeah, purple and gold, that runs the Bahamas. If you're from the Bahamas, you're a Laker fan from the get-go. Because of Michael Thompson, him setting the tone, coming into the league and, winning the championship and stuff like that. Here I am following up behind him, just, trying to be a part of this legacy and, just not taking it for granted. It's a huge chip, but like I said, pressure is privilege, man. If I wasn't doing that, nobody would be expecting anything from me. So, I'm really happy to be in this position as a player. And it's hard to explain, putting in the work and you finally somewhere you want to be where it's accounted for. And, accountability is something important.
DeAndre Arash Markazi from the Sporting Tribune. Have you talked to Michael about his journey? Both #1 picks, both came to the Lakers from Portland.
No.
Anything like
Never
that?
talked to
No.
him.
Okay.
You said you've already felt embraced by the city. I'm just curious, what that,
the social media. Come on now, Laker Nation, they control the social media. One post of you having the Lakers on your chest, everybody's going crazy. So yeah, social media did. Everybody coming at you, expectations, the graft, the edits, all of that. Yeah, fans definitely showed up.
Last two.
Did anybody stand out now that you're actually seeing them up and close on the Lakers roster?
What do you mean stand out?
Were you surprised by someone's speed or burst or just playing up close with them in this context versus, being on the other side?
Everything's surreal. Like I say, it's real when you get between them lines, man. This is all that daydreaming shit is out of the door. JJ is on it. Everybody's just amped up and super wired up. So, it's really all that pretty stuff is really out the door. It's people trying to work and get down to business.
Last question.
How was your workout routine? Nima told me you came.
How was my what?
Your workout before, because I know Nima was telling you that you came out here way earlier and started working out.
Yeah.
In the facility.
Yeah. If you've been in the gym this summer or in this facility, I've been around 24/7, in and out, 2 workouts a day. Just staying sharp as heck, just to be prepared for training camp and letting Luka and my guys know who my playmakers that I got them when it comes to screening and rolling and just being this defensive anchor the team wanted. So I'm just fulfilling whatever JJ wanted me to do, and like I'm saying, I'm amped. You know what I mean? Yeah, practice just taking a little. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to play.
Thank you, DeAndre.
All right.
Thank you.
I guess who did not?
Yeah, that'd probably be easier. I don't even know if I can name all the participants. So LeBron, Marcus, and Gabe and Adu are all sort of under either return to play protocols or modified protocols.
Starting with LeBron, what do you expect out of him at the start of camp? Will he be able to participate tomorrow?
Yeah, I think it's probably a little bit longer of a ramp up leading into opening night for him. Just obviously in year 23, uncharted territory here. So I felt, and talking with performance and then talking with Mike and LeBron, like he probably did too much last year in camp, which was great for me as a first-year head coach to get buy-in from him. But it'll be a slower process with him leading into the first game. He's obviously got 22 years so far of wear and tear on the body, and he's dealing with a little bit of nerve irritation in the glute. So just we're playing the long game with with LeBron. Gabe, he's just modified. He should be good to go live by the end of the week, and we expect him to be able to play Friday. And that's just, again, the management of his knee that we did last year as well. Marcus just dealing with a little bit of Achilles tendinopathy. He's been in a slow ramp up. He was a modified participant, nothing live today. We expect him to be fine by next week. And then Adu, I think, gave you guys all the information himself yesterday.
Coach, from the players who did participate, who stood out to you?
Luka was pretty good. I think a lot of times in camp, right, you're doing a lot more drills and you're doing games with constraints. We did 2 5-minute scrimmages at the end. So call it, 45% of the time was drills, 55% of the time was live, but a lot of the live play was with constraints. So I think the group really stood out, and it was just our energy, our physicality. We're asking these guys to have championship communication. I thought our talk was really good today, and we pushed ourselves. Like from a conditioning standpoint, we got a lot out of today.
Now, JJ, with year 2, is there not as much trying to instill what the expectations are, or there's a lot of new players, so there is still some of that?
No, there's always that, and it's different year to year. And I would say this, you use the word expectations, and I think there's the internal expectations of what's the standards are and what's required every day versus the external expectations, which kind of really don't matter because we kind of have to set that for ourselves, which that's a process to build. You don't come in day one and say, okay, this is our standard, these are our expectations, and then it's boom, perfect. It takes a little bit of time, and we, like we were last year, and like we'll continue to be all year. Like we'll be very clear with what the expectations are.
One thing all the players did say that they really said what you said in terms of championship shape and championship communication. That is the expectation, though. Is that fair to say? This is.
Yeah, we have 3 priorities this year and 3 priorities only. That's championship habits, championship communication, and championship shape. And there's no shortcuts to this. There's no shortcuts to success. There's no shortcuts to having a good season, great season, whatever. It's the league is too good. There's too much talent out there. There's too much balance. You have to be committed on a daily basis to those things.
True kind of LeBron-related question too. One of the things Luka has said a lot is sort of an excitement about getting into camp so that himself, LeBron, and Austin can kind of like problem solve and figure this stuff out. Can that still occur if he's not playing live as much? Are there ways, just like sort of like through osmosis, where that can happen? It's a good word, right?
Yeah, they'll. A couple of the guys know this. There's a fun exercise next week. There's a fun exercise next week.
Like a team building exercise of sorts.
We'll see.
Or like jumping jacks.
No. I don't mean physical exercise. Yes. To answer your question, yes, there is.
Okay. And then being around him last year and seeing, the way he hit that first week of the season, and then kind of, he had that break around the in-season tournament, break, recovery, whatever you want to call it, and the way he was able to come back and push. Did that change the way that you wanted to work with Mike and Dr. Sims in some ways about like how to best sort of plan out,
you'll hear me use this a lot. It is uncharted territory. I don't think there's a blueprint for someone who's had this amount of mileage and this many minutes and been asked to do so many things on both ends of the court. And look, we asked a lot of them last year. We asked a lot of them to start the year in camp. So it's just working as a partnership to try to figure out what's best.
Was he receptive to? In the past, I know there have been times like he's gonna have a minutes restriction, and then 2 games into it, it's like he's running through that minutes restriction. Like, he was on board with this.
Well, I've never put a minutes restriction on him. He's on board. Yeah, we're all on the same page.
As a follow up on it, what has he been able to do between summer league and now?
Yeah, he's had a ramp up from running, cutting, jumping, then running, cutting, jumping versus coaches, 3-on-3 versus coaches, 3-on-3 versus players, to live play prior to this week. And again, I think, you know, we've just got to manage him coming off of the knee surgery. And to be quite frank with you, you know, he was not our player when he had his surgery. And so we did not have control over what he did for 3 months after the surgery. And so it's really just about, to use the LeBron phrase again, it's really about playing the long game with him. We look at this year for him as a developmental year. And there's no reason for us to sort of push his body and create any sort of long-term harm. But his knee is in a really good spot. We just want to be really careful.
Does it matter if LeBron plays in the preseason? Is it like, I mean, is that important that he plays at the game at some point in the preseason?
It would be nice. It would be nice for sure. You know, we would love to have that happen. And if it doesn't, we'll just make it work.
You won't cancel the season.
No, we'll still play 82 games.
Is there been any discussion about his availability potentially on opening night? Or
That's the goal, yeah.
You mentioned your Spectrum interview yesterday about wanting to get, you know, not just thoroughheads, but wanting to get into the offense earlier. You know, I think 1896 on the clock. Championship shape has been something that you harped on a lot this offseason. How much did those tie in together after you looked at last season in order to get to why the early offense actions? We have to be in a certain.
I really believe that all three of our priorities tie in together. And in terms of the early offense, you certainly have to be in shape. There has to be communication. Our habits, that part of that is execution, and you know, I think it's execution of spacing, it's execution of knowing what we're trying to get on a possession, and you have to be in shape to sort of recognize all those things in real time. So it's all tied together. And I thought with our script, and we did a modified 3-on-3 game, I thought the emphasis was there. The guys did a really good job. They understood what we were trying to accomplish. They understood the purpose of everything we were doing today in script and in 3-on-3. And then that translated to 5-on-5.
JJ, what's going to determine your starting lineup? Could that be in flex all season long? As we go through
Again, I'm not even concerned about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not even concerned about it.
JJ, how does obsession play into your 3 priorities? I saw LeBron was wearing a shirt.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, Rob has a word of the season, a word of training camp every year. Last year was details. This year is obsession. Obviously, you saw the shirt. You know that the 1-8 was part of that, which that's what we're all after. We're all after that 18th banner. I think understanding the priorities of the job and being obsessed with those and committed to those on a daily basis, that's what determines great players. That's what determines great teams. Anything else? All right, thanks, guys.